Does anybody want to start off by reading our quote for the night? Who's open to reading the quote? No one?
I can read
I'll
it.
do it.
Oh.
Yay! Was that Megan?
Well, someone else said it too, but I guess I'll go. Sorry to whoever I cut off. Virtually every top producing agent we have ever worked with has a deep and almost inherent sense of service. They have a servant's heart and place their buyers or sellers' real estate experience above. I can't read behind that. They are always thinking service.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So tonight's topic is technically called service listings or working with the sellers. So I think it's super important that we all come from the servant's heart. After all, that's really what they're wanting. I've always been told, you know, if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. So I think that just goes right along with that, having a servant heart. So kind of think that, keep that in mind as we're talking through this tonight. So we are going to be talking about the agenda today is success with sellers. And so this is something I thought was interesting. This came from the NAR. So what sellers want most from their agents. So you can see here, help pricing home competitively, help seller market home to potential buyers, help sell the home within a specific time frame, help seller find ways to fix up the home to sell it for more, and other. So I thought some of those were a little bit interesting. It's not something I would have thought. We do need to stage homes. We need to get them ready, make them look nice, but help seller find ways to fix it up to sell it for more. So I think that's always an interesting one too, but just something to kind of think about. So somebody tell me, what do you see in these two? So these are ways, and Sherry, this might help answer your question a little bit too. So sellers' lives change or sellers' world changes. So what do you think those mean? How would you guys interpret that?
Divorce, a new baby, marriage, downsizing, like empty nesters.
Good job. So that would be a note I would take. So when we think about sellers' lives changing, maybe that is, you know, they have like a baby, so their life is changing for the good, right? They're having a baby, they need more room. Their job, maybe they're being transferred with their job. So relocation is a really good way to pick up sellers. And then when you think about sellers' world changing, so that could be like a death or a divorce, those kind of the D's in real estate. So those are some really good ones as far as where can we go find sellers. Divorce attorneys are a really good way. I think we had somebody on here recently that taught another seller class that talked about he's emailing divorce attorneys once a week in hoping to connect with them. So thinking about like LinkedIn, things like that. So you have, you know, maybe estate planners that are dealing with death. You have, you know, baby showers. You have the fun things too, right? So trying to keep in touch with people to know how their life is changing or how their entire world is changing and how we can help them. So that kind of answers the question of going out there and finding some new people. So things that sellers control. So the things that they control versus what we can control, but the seller gets to control the price and the condition of the home. So what that means to us is we have to be experts on the price. They get to control it, but we have to be experts on setting the expectation and being able to really explain to them how price matters and knowing that they have so much control over the price. Is their $700,000 price realistic compared to our comp? So those are the two things that they like to control, right? And then there's going into the sensitive seller conversations. So when you think about that, looking at the picture, what do you think of? What do you think, what kind of conversations are we going to have when they control the price and they control the condition? Any thoughts on that picture?
So if they want to get top value, they need to have their house clean.
Yes.
And neat and organized.
Yes, absolutely. So things that I want to talk about with this, that is it. So we really do have to go in. We carry both hats of being the good guy, the bad guy, the good cop, the bad cop. being able to explain to them what the condition of the home looks like, how can we help them get more value out of their home by making it look differently. This picture is a little exaggerated. Obviously, this is just getting the house clean. But different things so that I would recommend. I personally work with a stager who's here at our office, and I have them come in and give a staging consultation. So as part of my services to a seller is I will offer them a staging consult. So just so you guys know, those cost about $150, and what that looks like is not necessarily a full-on staging. This is when somebody comes in and just gives them an idea of, I'm going to come through, I'm going to give them all the good positive vibes, and then I'm going to go, okay, I need some additional help. They do need to move some furniture. They do need to paint some walls. They do need to get rid of some of these smells. So I'm going to bring in a stager who's going to give them a report of all of those things. Move the couch here, put it over here, make the room look bigger, take care of the smells. We're going to need 2 air fresheners in this room. So it's basically kind of sending in that bad cop. So I really like doing that, and that's definitely something I offer. In your seller guides, there is a whole section on staging. What I can tell you about that is I actually have gotten listings just by saying I have a stager on my team. So Sherry, when it comes to marketing, I would definitely get some conversations in there about that as well to pick up more listings. But I don't necessarily pay for staging. I probably paid myself for 5 staging in my whole career. Now, that's not, I'm not necessarily saying that's something you should or shouldn't do. We have agents that 100% specialize in staging and do the whole 9, and that's their niche. Me personally, that's not something that I do, so I bring that stager in just to consult them. So there's a difference between, you know, hundreds of dollars for that service or thousands of dollars for actual staging. But that's what I think of when I look at this picture. So any questions on that, having sensitive conversations?
This might be the wrong time to ask this question, and we can address it later.
Yeah.
But I was kind of thinking about for the compensation and tiering, you know, gold, platinum, and silver. And let's say if you want silver, these are the things that I'll do. At what point do you say, okay, I'm going to get the inspection done? It's included. I'm going to get the staging consultation done, and it will be coming out of my compensation, or it's part of the package.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can talk about that whenever. That is a really good idea to have kind of those menu of services, and you are going to start seeing those more and more now. I love the idea of like the platinum and the gold, because that gives the seller a choice. So I've probably always given my sellers a choice. You know, we kind of joke about it. Are you willing to cut your commission? Sure, I charge 8%. Would you like 6 or 7? You know, there's some scripting in there that a lot of us have learned to give them a choice, because that's really what they want. So I love the idea of menu of services. That's not something I have on here to show you, but a lot of people are currently creating that. So that's really up to you. You know, what could you charge differently based on the services that you're providing? I think it's something you all should be thinking about, because it's definitely going to come up as now people are starting to talk about compensation and why would I pay you and why would I pay this other agent and all of that. So love the idea of menu of services. So that to me would be maybe higher quality photography. So maybe you're going to do drone footage, definitely staging, cleaning, carpet cleaning, just having a housekeeper come in there. There's so many different things you could do. You could pay for a home inspection. What else can you guys think of that you would include in your menu of services?
Did you say open houses?
Yeah, open houses, I would definitely, I did not say that to answer your question. I did not say that, but I definitely think that's something we should be doing. I personally would be doing open houses at every level. But yeah, that's definitely something that would be in a menu.
What about an appraisal, or would the bank cover that?
An appraisal, that's definitely something you could pay for as kind of a service. When a buyer comes in and they get financing, the lender will require them to do an appraisal, and that is through a third-party service. So your appraisal that you paid for would not necessarily be something that buyer would be able to use. So that would be more, and appraisals are like $700. So that would be more of a reassurance that somebody has measured the house, somebody has come in outside of us to get that price like really dialed in. So it could be an option, not necessary, but it definitely could be an option. What else can you think of for menu of services? Anything else? Hopefully that's giving you guys some good ideas.
Small repairs.
Yes, I love that. Small repairs. And I'm glad you brought that up too, because I think just building your list of vendors when you are having these seller conversations to get the home ready is super important. Most of the time I find if I can go in and there's, something's broken, a cupboard's broken or electrical's broken, if I just say, you know what, I'm happy to coordinate this. I have an electrician, he can come out, he can give you a bid and he can get it fixed. They don't even necessarily expect you to pay for those repairs. But you could have like a top 10 list of things that you would repair for them, or touch up paint or something like that. Definitely start making your list of vendors, because that's super important that you have that and they know that you have the right people. And if you're not familiar with like where to start on that vendor list, every one of our offices has an approved vendor list. So you can go to your front desk and ask for that. You'll see vendor walls inside the offices that all have brochures and cards. And so that's a really good task as you're newer, is to get in and go visit those people, make connections with those people. You do get to meet some of them. A lot of them bring us lunch when we have team meetings and stuff, but take the time to get to know those people, because super important. And then if you did have to pay for a repair, or you're offering to pay for a repair, you could get, maybe a good deal, or you're going to get some good work because you have that relationship. Love that, Karen.
I was at Fashion Place Mall and I saw Joel Carson's advertisement. Sell your home with me and the handyman is free.
Oh, that's a great idea. Any kind of catch or carrot like that is awesome. So yeah, anything you can think of like that, just, talk to your broker about what you're advertising. We do have to be cautious on that, because solicitation of things to get business can get you in a little pickle. But the way he's advertising, I know him very well. I know his is on the up and up, but just make sure if you're going to advertise something like that, your broker has seen it. So kind of talking about winning the sellers and really servicing sellers, we want to make sure that we have great client communication. So number one, we're providing a strong foundation for a good relationship. Number two, we set and manage expectations proactively throughout the transaction. This, I feel like, should be number one. I cannot express enough how much managing their expectations is going to help you in the whole process. So what does this timeline look like? What is a potential offer going to look like? What does compensation look like to a seller nowadays? Sometimes they think maybe they've heard their realtor fees have gone away, and we need to be able to explain to them that's not true and manage those expectations and hit it proactively. Don't wait for it to come up. So this to me should be number one, but we'll take it as number two. Number three, creates peace of mind for your clients. Number four, enhances your credibility. So all communication, just making sure that you're getting ahead of everything. So problems, that's always something where I see agents really want to deal with the problem later, or kind of kick the can down the road. That is something I highly recommend that you're proactive about. So for me personally, I'm a little woo-woo when it comes to that. So I really try to listen to my intuition. If I think of a client, whether it be a lead generation, it could be a past client, it could be dealing with a current client, if they pop into my mind, I'm going to call them. And the reason for that is what I have found is that if they cross your mind, there's a reason you should be talking to them. And if you wait and have them call you, especially in a problem situation, if my client ever calls me because of a problem, the problem's way worse than if I can tackle it proactively and call them first and say, hey, we have a problem. So that really kind of goes back to managing expectations, but it also gives you a lot of credibility. So get really good at communicating with your clients, especially sellers, and especially right now. So Reminding them about fair housing laws. So that's super important, that we feel comfortable being able to educate our clients on that. So just as a reminder, if that does come up, you do need to remind them of their obligations, be very fair on those fair housing laws. If it's bad enough, we want you to discontinue representation of them, report it immediately, document the situation. This just keeps you out of trouble. So just as a reminder, always think about the fair housing laws. Other things that we like to remind you of when you are working with buyers and sellers is KW's value system. So I love this where it says win-win or no deal. These are what we call our Y4C2Ts. Has anybody seen this before? Sherry, you probably have because you've been with Keller Williams, but has anybody else seen these before or know why we talk about this? Yes, Jake, you have seen these before for sure. So it really is like what we stand for. So when it comes to dealing with people, and I think of this in my real life, not just in work life, but win-win or no deal. These are scripts that I use when I'm trying to negotiate with somebody, whether it be a seller, it could be a buyer's agent, it could be a buyer, it could be anybody. I will literally say to them, look, we're looking for a win-win here, or we just won't be able to have a deal. So I use that a lot. Another one that I use almost daily is communication. Seek first to understand. So when I get frustrated about something, I try to calm myself down and figure out what is actually going on. So I'm seeking first to understand before I take action. As we're all, trying to be good marketers and things like that, I think about creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, this team works really well together. So together we all achieve more. Trust starts with honesty. So these are just good things. And I even recommend printing these out. You can find these all over the internet. Printing these out and put it in your packet. So when it comes to helping your buyers and your sellers, they get to see who you are as a person and who we are as a company. So just kind of reminds me back of those fair housing laws, right? No commission is worth your reputation. So were you going to say something, Sherry?
No,
Oh, okay.
I was just about to talk.
Oh, okay. And next we're going to talk about kind of what do we do to service the listing. So once you've gotten the listing, what do we do? So we do have in our guides, I'm going to show you quickly, marketing plans for the listing. So we're kind of going to go through that, but keeping in mind that we want to capitalize on our listing. So the saying goes, Gary Keller always says, listings are leverage. And why do you think that we would say that? Why do you think listings are leverage for us? Any ideas?
Handle more listings in less time than you would more buyers.
Absolutely. So yes, according to the National Association of Realtors, it takes 8 times longer to deal with a buyer than it does a seller. So when it comes to actual hours that you put into it, listings, you literally can do way more in less time. So that is absolutely one of the ways you get leverage. How else? What else could be considered leverage when it comes to listings? I'll give you a hint. It's on the screen. Branding and marketing. So when you have a listing, you get to put a sign in the yard most of the time. You get to put a sign in the yard that's going to attract either more listings from the neighbors. So going back to lead generation, when you get a listing, you definitely want to be sharing that with all of the neighbors. You want to be door knocking. You want to get out there. You want to be making phone calls. You want to be doing open houses, posting on social media. It gives you so many excuses to get your branding and your messaging out to attract more people. That's one of my favorite things about listings, is just having a good excuse to go out there and share with the world what you're doing in real estate. And side note, you don't have to have your own listings to do that. You can absolutely do open houses and things like that in your own brokerage and do the exact same thing. You get to go door knock the neighbors. You get to go call the neighbors. You get to go hand out your flyers. You get to go post on social media. So those are all ways of attracting more listings. So those are my favorite things when it comes to leverage. According to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, so for every listing, you should be able to attract listings should be 2 deals for you. So technically one is the listing itself and the other one is either a buyer from the sign or a referral from your client. Or what we're seeing a lot now is sellers actually become buyers. So when you're working with a buyer, it's really hard to turn that into 2 deals, but working with a seller, it's fairly easy to turn that into 2 deals. So that kind of goes back to the leverage piece and really how you can get more leads when it comes to listings. Any thoughts on that, or is that helpful when it comes to talking about getting more listings? Okay. So this just goes, this is from the book, The Shift. So I will read this. The message you put out to attract prospective buyers and sellers is everything. Why would they want to contact you in this market? What would they get if they did? These 2 questions are at the heart of all effective messaging. So I feel like, Karen, if you could have picked a perfect spot, this kind of sums it up here. So think about when we are putting together like the menu of services, or why would they hire us, or those campaigns that you're seeing, hire me, get the handyman for free. So kind of start thinking about, how can I answer this question? Why would they want to contact me in this market? What would happen if they contacted me in this market? What could be, we call it a MOFR, so MOFIR, which stands for Make Offer for Immediate Response. So you're going to hear that acronym a lot, MOFR. So what could we offer them right now that's going to get them to immediately respond to us? Any ideas on that? If you were to put a message out today, what you could offer?
Market evaluation.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, Jake. Free market evaluation. So contact me, get today's value, get the value of your home in today's market. Free consultation, free staging consultation, the handyman for free. Contact me today for my menu of services. So it's kind of a carrot. It's something that you can't necessarily put on a banner that makes them contact you so that they can get it. Love those ideas. Anything else that's standing out that we can share? Free home evaluation is probably the most common one, to be honest. But I love the other ideas too. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about our marketing. So I know a lot of you, this sounds maybe like a little repetitive, just because going into the KW Home Hub, there are some new things in here. So I definitely wanted to show you some of the new things and places you can go and options you have to when it comes to marketing your listing. So number 1, we have this right here in the black. It says Home Hub Marketing New Materials. So you definitely want to come in here, and this is going to give you access to Canva, Canva templates. And I personally, I just barely paid for my first market my listing through the Home Hub. But up to this point, I do it all myself, or I have an admin do it. I don't spend the extra money because the templates are beautiful. There's really no reason to. It's just if you're, for me, you know, sometimes I can get too busy that I'm not doing a good job marketing. But going into these, you know, just these flyers and these templates and your just listed postcards and all of that, you just come down here, you pick which look you're looking for. So when we talk about like going out and door knocking and you're going to go say, hey, this home just listed, you have all of these templates in here that you can use, that you have access to. Going into a property flyer. So you can come in here, you're going to have access to all of these property flyers that you can use, and they're just templates. So if you're not familiar with Canva, it really is super easy. It's designed to be like 5 clicks or less, and you can have a complete marketing piece of material that you can use. So I just wanted to show you how great these are, and they have been updated. So those of you that have been with us for a little while, you'll see that they all look a little different, but mix and match these. Coming down here, agent value proposition. So you can come in here and create a design of what your value is. You can come in here and create a magazine, and these are all templates, super easy. I wanted to show you any questions on this piece because I want to show you something in Command as well. Your logos are over here, so anything you need for logos and whatnot. So the other thing, if you do take a listing and you are interested in putting a little bit of money into it, I did recently just do this pro version, which was awesome. So, and again, that's the things that you guys can be offering. So maybe with your, you know, if we talk about silver and gold and platinum levels, maybe this one, you're going to offer some of these things. You're going to get a flyer. So you can kind of look at this as an example of how to make a menu. You're going to do an open house. You're going to do one social media post. And then you're going to go pro or platinum, and the listing is going to get its very own landing page. It's going to get its very own brochure. It's going to get at least 2 social media posts per week or something. So this is kind of an idea of how to start creating that menu of services. But I just did this for a client. We're doing a subdivision, and the marketing's getting a little bit stale. Everybody's seeing the same stuff over and over. So I did upgrade, and I got its own landing page, and everything just looks different. So it's really just kind of a refresh. But wanted you guys to see the different options, because marketing a listing is super important. So do it yourself. You can pay a little bit of money to have some of the things done. You can pay a little more money to get more things done. And that's through our home hub. The other thing you can do is write in command. And this is something I love too, because it's super easy. So if we go into command, and we're going to go into design, I want to show you how easy it is to create something in here. So if you click on design, does anybody have an address or know of an active listing right now? If not, we'll find something, but if you had one. So then you're going to click create design, and we're going to do a print design. So we'll just do like a flyer or a postcard. So Karen, I'm not sure what your question is. Scott Leroy marketing through the home hub. So what I just showed you was through the home hub. Is that what you're asking?
Okay, yeah, I've just noticed that when I was doing orientation, Scott Leroy came up all the time, and he does a lot of the instruction videos.
Oh yeah, that's probably going to take you into command.
Okay,
So Scott Leroy is like an onboarding company that takes care of our systems as you guys are coming on. So I would imagine those videos are going to show you how to do a lot of this stuff in command. The home hub is separate. It's just, it's actually a marketing company behind that company that's doing that for us. So two different things, but similar concepts. Either
no,
one
I
is
would like
great.
to hire somebody to do
Yeah.
some of my things.
Yeah, if you want to hire somebody, I would hire agency. That's who is behind the home hub, and they're wonderful and very fast.
Agency, okay.
Yep, and I can get you their information, or you go into the home hub and just click on that market my listing tab, and then you fill out the form. You're going to upload. You don't even have to do your pictures or anything. You just put in there your listing, your MLS number, and anything that they need to know about it, and then they take care of the rest. So it's quite nice.
What about a Halloween flyer?
What's that?
How about an event Halloween flyer?
Yes. Yeah, they could totally help you with that. So that would be probably under, let me go back over here, into marketing suite. I think they would do it for you. Let's see, engage SOI. Yeah, so like here's touches and stuff. So you could come in here and schedule a consultation, and then they would let you know what that would cost.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. And talk to me too, because this is for everybody, not just for Karen, but our admin that we use for our coaching, she's amazing. So when it comes to like thinking of like the pumpkin event, I pay her, don't quote me, I know this is being recorded, but I probably pay her anywhere from $20 to $40 to market my entire event. And so that's going to include her creating the graphic. It's going to include her going into command, and she's going to text all the people I want her to. She's going to email all the people I want her to. She's going to create a Google form for me. She basically does the entire thing, RSVPs, everything. And I bet it costs me less than $40. So if you're looking for like inexpensive leverage, I have somebody for you. She's amazing. So it kind of just depends what you're looking for, if it's a one-off job or something bigger. Okay, so back in command, I just want to show you. So when a lot of you guys are going to be helping with other people's listings before you get your own. So I love this. Say you're going to go out and you're going to go door knocking and you're going to do a just listed flyer. So we'll grab this one. We're going to just use this. And depending on what information you have, we're going to go into this KWLS. So this is Keller Williams Listing Service, which is basically like an inside multiple listing service. This gives you access to all the listings across the world. So not just our office. So you're going to click on this and we're going to search for a listing. So I'm going to search by listing agent because I don't have a listing number right now. So if I go in here, we're going to search for, do Annie Cannon. She's got, oh, normally she has a lot of listings. Listing agent. Okay, I don't know why that's not working. Let's try. Here we go. Hers are probably all under contract, right? Why they're not showing up. So here are, this is a girl in our office, and so we obviously would need permission to use her stuff. But if you were doing an open house for her, or you wanted to go door knock around one of her listings, you just grab one of these. So obviously you want to make sure it's in Utah. You can see she's very busy. She's doing a lot, but when you're checking MLS numbers, just be aware that it could come up in California, Arizona, it could come up somewhere else. So make sure you're picking the right listing, and all you have to do is click select. Once you click select, you get access to all the photos of that listing, and then look how easy it is to create a flyer. You literally drop and drag. So you pick out the pictures that you love. You're going to come over here, and I didn't even have to bug her. I didn't have to say, hey, can you email me the pictures of your property? They're all in here. So super easy to access photos and all the information about it. And then obviously this, you're just going to come in here, double click, and change out whatever it is you need to change. This is your information, so you will upload your own photo. When you're advertising someone else's listing, you're going to put in your own photo. So that is just right here under images, and it's my assets. And you can see here's everything I have under mine. You're just going to upload and add more images. So you can see I mess around a lot with our logos. That picture's so old. You can tell I haven't put my picture on something for a while here. But you definitely can just upload any photo that you want on here. So any questions on creating some marketing for your listings when you're thinking about servicing your listings? Any questions on that? Okay. Oh, maybe we got a question in the chat. Sorry, I missed a little bit. Is this on command? Yes, Elijah, that was on command. So this, I'll just kind of go back to home to show you, but I am logged into command. And I'm inside of designs. Let me see if I can go back to the front. So when you come in here, just so you guys know, I love this button. If you click on KW, it will tell you what the icons are. And then we just clicked on design and then create design. And then you get to tell it which kind of design. I went into print. And then you're going to go click whichever flyer you want to use. Sorry, I'm going a little fast, but if you need me to slow down, I can. And just click on KWLS right here to access any listing that's on the MLS. And you can do it by MLS number, address, listing agent, any information you have. And that's going to pull up any listing that you happen to be advertising for yourself or anybody else.
I'm not seeing KWLS on mine.
Do you have all the other icons?
Oh, it's okay. It just loaded now. Everything changed.
Oh, okay.
WLS is,
Yep.
Okay.
KWLS. I love that you're clicking buttons while we're doing this. Good way to learn. Yeah. So any other questions on that? You are welcome, Elijah. Let me know if you have any other questions on that. Then we're talking about the MLS. So this is not an MLS class, although I will show you quickly how to go into the MLS when you're inputting a listing. But what I highly recommend is that you are taking classes straight from the MLS. So there are free classes, and I'm going to show you how to find those. Oh gosh, we're going forward. Hold on. Okay, so if we go into the MLS, there are video classes, and there are webinar classes, and there are live classes. So when you come in here, you just click on this help, and the support center is where you're going to find videos. And this updates a lot. So there's a lot of new stuff we've been going through. You can see all these changes regarding our documents and all of that. Lots of new stuff, but you can see there's webinars, there's videos, all kinds of stuff. So how do you use aligned showings? We want to set up a showing service for your listings. You know, you can use SkySlope. We use DocuSign, but you also have access to SkySlope. Maybe you want to use that. How do I get the photos? How do I do any of that? The tours, listing info, all of that is on here. So you definitely can go in there and learn how to do that. And that is in Support Center. And then you also have this trainings and classes section. So in here, you get to go and you get to sign up for the classes. So here's a market statistics webinar, or here's an individual. You can get your own instruction virtually with somebody from the MLS. How do I do a CMA? Different types of CMA. So just know that there's a lot of MLS training. So side note, definitely take that training. You're paying for it, you might as well take it. But when it comes to inputting your listing, you're going to basically come right in here and you're just going to click on My Listings, Create Listing, and then you get to either do it based on a previous MLS number right here, or you can just start doing it. And this is basically just fill in the blanks. So this listing name, you can give it whatever name you want. I usually give it the name of the person. You can see here I have a lot of like Johnson listings, Sister Place, Smith Test, Cassie's brother, addresses. Nobody's going to see this but you. So you can call it whatever you want. Now, I'm not going to start a new listing. I have a lot of test ones in here to show you, but you would click Start Listing. And that's going to open this up to starting to create a listing. So I have a test one here I'm going to open up. So this is what it's going to look like. So you just really start filling in the blanks. What is going to be the list price? What is the house number? Anything with a red dot is required. A lot of this information you can find off of tax records, or you know what you know of the house, or a previous MLS number. But you basically are filling in as much of this as possible, and this is what creates the actual MLS. You're going to come in here, you're going to upload your photos, you're going to upload your remarks, and things like that. What I would suggest when it comes to marketing these things, I like to get my photos back, and then I kind of play around looking at the photos. And I've also walked the property, so I've taken a lot of notes to know, you know, the master bedroom is on the 3rd floor or the 1st floor, or I don't know, crown molding or marble countertops. Like I know because I've taken notes. And then what I do is I use ChatGPT to create remarks. So you definitely want to get creative with the remarks. So if you're not a super creative person, I use ChatGPT to do that, which is super helpful. And then the remarks come up and they're really, really good. So either create your own, or you can do it through ChatGPT, but this is where you're going to be inputting all of it. So go in, you can do a practice one, you could do one on your own house, but just practice here, and then you can click Save as Unfinished. It's not going to go anywhere public. And you can do this as you're preparing for your listing as well. And then you'll come back here where it says My Listing and come back into Unfinished Listings. And then you can add to it, delete it, all of that. So you click Edit, you'll come back in. And maybe you advertise the open house, or you change out the photos, anything like that. But this is where you're going to go to actually list the property. Questions on this? Okay. So yeah, so like this slideshow says here, we want to make sure that your MLS listing reflects your brand, so get it right. I do have some horror stories of listings being put up on like a Sunday night without a lot of help, having way too many bedrooms or way too many floors or the wrong price. So you don't want to do that. You don't ever want your client to see a mistake like that. So have somebody double check it for you. You know, when you put it up, really pay attention to what's going up. If you make a mistake, it's okay. We just hurry and change it out really quick. But just know that, you know, your message, we've got to get it right when it hits the public websites, because it will syndicate to hundreds of websites. So super important. So making sure you have the right documents is also very important. So one of the only documents required to be on our MLS is the lead-based paint. And so if you are listing a property that's older than 78, it will be required that you have the lead-based paint form uploaded into the MLS before you can actually list it. But otherwise, the other documents you're going to need, we do have checklists in the PC Home Hub. But other ones are going to be like your exclusive right to sell, them hiring you. You're going to need your seller's disclosures. You're going to need any like notice of interest if you're related to them, your wire fraud forms. All those forms that we have those lists on are the right forms you have to upload.
The checklist.
What's that?
Where can we find the checklist for what forms we need for the different types of
Question. If you come back into the Home Hub, and we're going to go back to the front page, we do have a productivity coaching hub. So if you come right here under training and productivity and click on this productivity hub, you'll come in here. It is password protected, so the password changes every month. So there'll be a new one that you're going to get an email for probably tomorrow, because I can't believe it's the end of the month. But you'll come in here, and then so say that you're working with a listing, you can click listing materials and it will take you down here. So then you have this checklist and you click on it, and we've basically documented everything you need to know. So here would be the forms that you would need.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So this one's showing you the forms. It shows you where to click to get the forms. It's a really good resource because you get on these classes and we kind of rattle off quickly, like, oh, make sure you use this form and don't forget. But then we do have that documented so that you can go back through and just read through it. Good question. Utilizing the right professionals to get great pictures and floor plans. How many of you guys have seen a listing where they went in with their phone and they took terrible pictures and it just doesn't look great, right? Like we've all seen that. So you really do want to spend some money up front. Your client is expecting that. That can go back to the menu of services of what you do. But photos are one thing I definitely think you need to get right. And we do have some great vendors for pictures. I use a company called McCarthy Photography. That is basically a team of people that take amazing pictures. They're very personal. It's a personal touch to it. And then I also use a company called Simple Shoot. And you can go to simpleshoot.com. That's a little less personal. You order it online. A different photographer shows up each time. Those are the two that I use, and they both work great. So it kind of depends what you're looking for. If I had an out-of-state person, I probably wouldn't care so much about the personal touch. Or maybe if you have kind of a nervous seller, then the personal touch, like they're wonderful. They'll come in and walk them through getting ready for pictures. And it's just, you know, one's a little more expensive than the other, but that could go right back to those menu of services and what you offer. And then setting the right schedule for your listing. So what I would recommend, so we need to know the schedule of the seller, right? We need to make sure that they're good with, you know, when we're going to be showing the house, but also when it's going to be coming up on the market. So I like to advertise that we're going to do, you know, a grand opening open house. So as I take the listing, I'm going to start talking to them about, okay, I'd like to get your home listed and on the market by Wednesday or Thursday of whatever week we're talking about. And then I'm going to do the first grand opening that Saturday. So we've got to talk about the schedule. So, you know, when are they going to have their repairs done? When is the kitchen going to be painted? When can I get the stager in there? When can I get the photographer in there? And then giving time for the photography to come back. So you really do want to make sure you get the schedule right. We don't ever want to list a property without photos, so you don't want to be ahead of that. But in that form where we document the process of listing a home, that's in there too. Day 1, do this. Day 2, do this. So just getting that schedule correct. We already talked about this, so I jumped ahead a little bit, importing the listing directly from the KWLS. So I've already shown you that. Proper signage, so you do want to make sure that you have signs ready. I would order a sign, you know, you want your sign to be personalized. So I would say the signs take around 3 to 4 days, so you don't want to wait till the last minute to get your sign ready. They can do a rush, they'll charge you a little bit more, but you can get your signs anywhere too. So Alpha Graphics is great. I personally use Sandberg signs because I can just drive right up there. It's on 72 in State. They have all of our logos and they have a house full of signs. So if you need open house signs or directionals, I would use that. So here we just want to make the point that when you are listing a property, you do have to put it on the MLS within 1 day of signing that listing agreement. So this is something that we have agreed to by using the MLS. So if it's not going to be ready by the time that sign goes in the yard, you do need to do an exclusion. So I'll show you where to do that on the MLS, but you have to submit an exclusion form, which basically says we've signed a listing agreement, but we're not ready to list it publicly yet. Very important, you will get fined if a sign goes up in the yard and it's not on the MLS within 1 day. So just keep that in mind.
Hey, Terry, I have a question because I
Yeah.
heard something from Robin at one of the trainings when I had asked her. So she was talking about how you can do something about like putting it online and then immediately offline, and like the days on market won't accrue, and you don't have to have the MLS exclusion form. But I don't know, maybe you still have to have the MLS exclusion form. But she was saying that like if it's not quite ready, that you could put it on and then like have it. There's like some kind of mode that you can put it on like pause or something.
I'm not familiar with that. I'm certain that there is, because the days on market is, you know, people don't like that to start calculating. So I'm sure
Yeah.
somebody has kind of figured out like a workaround. The proper way to do it, I'm not saying she's not doing it properly. I know 100% she is.
Yeah.
But I would definitely still get the exclusion form regardless. I'm sure there's a way around those days on market.
Yeah,
Probably
I'm
a
sure
good
she
question.
probably.
We should
Yeah,
ask
I'm
her.
probably sure she probably still is getting those forms signed. I think what she was talking about is just like having it to where those days on market don't accrue so that it doesn't look bad for the listing.
Yes. Yes, and that's a really good question. We need to find the answer, because I would love to know that too, because we don't want the days on market to calculate if we don't actually have it on the market.
Okay, for sure.
So we need to find that out, Jake. But really quickly, I just wanted to show you. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you the exclusion. So if, and I basically do an exclusion on every single listing because I'm never ready to list it in 1 day. The sellers really are never ready. You're going to click on this MLS form. And this is once you have the listing agreement signed. You're going to click on MLS exclusion, and you're just submitting this to the MLS that says, this address, we signed a listing agreement today. It's going to expire in 6 months. And then here's the instructions. So it says, do not submit the property on the MLS until a specific date, or do not submit the property on the MLS until it's publicly marketed, or do not submit on the MLS at all. So those are your choices. 9 out of 10, I'm clicking do not submit the property until the listing is publicly marketed. Because that's more of an open deadline, where this is an actual deadline. So they'll be watching for this specific deadline. And it's so hard to nail down a seller, photographers, all of that for one specific date. So this is the one I choose. And then you'll submit that. And then it goes right into the MLS, and then they have on file that you've got a listing and it's not on the MLS yet. So if somebody were to drive around and see it, it's on record that you told them it's not going to be up yet. Okay. So we already talked about the sign, the documents. Okay. So this is an evaluation form of our class tonight. So you're going to start seeing these put in here. So I am being certified to be a Keller Williams University trainer. And so they've asked that we get these from you guys. So if you would take just a minute to go to kwueval.com. You could just take out your phone, scan that QR code, or type that in. That would be awesome. The event, so you are doing this virtually. It is a Market Center virtual event. And the instructor name is not in the drop-down box. And I'm going to throw it into the chat so you guys know how to spell my name. So just enter my name on there and then just submit your evaluation. And this is Ignite session 16. Yeah. 16.
So for name of course, we're putting your name in there for the name of the course?
No, the course is, it's Ignite session 16 or just Ignite. It might just give you an option for Ignite.
Okay,
Did you find it?
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, Ignite session 16. Cool. Did everybody
then
get a
we
chance to do that?
And,
What did you
okay,
say,
so
Teri?
your name's not in the instructor drop down, so we put your name in the comments box, did you say?
So there should be something that says instructor not in dropdown. And then you'll type in my name. So you'll see a drop down with a whole bunch of people's names. And then there's going to be an option that says instructor not in dropdown.
Oh, okay.
Would really appreciate if you guys do that. Thank you. Okay.
Teri, how do you spell your last name?
It's SCHEITHAUER. I also put it in the chat if it's easier for you to see it. So what questions do you guys have for servicing listings, or what questions did you have in the beginning that maybe I didn't get answered? If you got a listing today, do you feel good about knowing what to do with it?
Mostly.
I got a yes, we got mostly.
So Terry, I was clicking some buttons as well and looking, and I went to my KWLS and Amy Gibbons wouldn't show up.
That's so weird because like when I did it, you saw, if you were looking when I did it too, it
Yeah, I
didn't show up
did.
for a second for me. So I
Oh.
just went back and did it again.
Okay,
AMY, like double check your spelling. If it doesn't work, do you guys know how to look people up on the MLS to find like the MLS number? So
yes.
I'll show you really quickly. So if you click search full, I always clear everything out and say that you knew the listing agent you were doing the open house for. We're going to click active. And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, almost all the way, right here it says agent. So then you could type in the agent's name that you know who you're going to be doing the open house for. And then it will pop up their name. You can see she's got 5 right here. And then we could go find the MLS number based on the address. So that might be easier too. If it's not coming up by name, but you know there's a listing, you could also search the MLS number.
Are we supposed to import templates? Because all of mine say coming soon.
Templates to where?
Are
you
in the design center, the KW command, the place where you.
So if I go back, let me go back. So then you did create design. I'm gonna go back to the beginning, make sure we're on the same
My
page.
projects. Or sorry, I mean, I guess I could come in on a Wednesday and. Yeah, but that's where I was.
So let's get back to so you go into command and you're going to click on design. And then you're going to click create design right here in the right hand corner.
Okay.
Is that where you missed it?
And flyer.
Yep, and then you would do like print. And then it's going to open up all the templates for print. And then you can decide, am I doing a flyer? What am I doing?
Okay.
We could do for sale. We could do open houses. Is it working now?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, any other questions? Anything else? I love that you guys are clicking buttons. Makes me happy. It's just, you're not going to know if it's working right until you try it.
When we're in that, the thing on the on the command site, where do we get our picture from? Because or our DBA, Keller Williams, our local logo.
So logos are over here in the Home Hub. So log
So
into
we
the Home Hub and what's that?
So we import them in over there?
Yep. So then you're
Okay.
going to pull out whatever logos that you need. And then when you're in here, probably under my images. I get lost in here too, guys. And I have multiple accounts, so it gets even more confusing. If we click something, then you're going to come in here. It's called My Assets right here. And then you can add an image. So then you would decide you would do it either from your device, probably. And then you're going to upload those logos that you downloaded. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or browse. But the logos can all be found right here on the Home Hub. You just click on which office you're part of. Here's a whole bunch of them too. And same thing with your headshot. You'll just upload it from your computer into Command. Good question. What else can I help you with tonight? Any other questions? Okay, just as a reminder, we always want to take action on something. I know a lot of you are doing 75 hard. How's that going? Any wins from that? This is basically Keller Williams. They call it a daily success system, which is almost the same as our 75 hard, right?
It almost says he's the actor of Swindle. Is that true?
Vicki, are you asking me a question?
Yes.
What did you
So
say?
yeah, I did 75 hard
Oh,
cards,
good.
but I couldn't finish all of them. I finished most of them. And on the tracking sheet, it asks you, did you finish all? So I didn't finish all, so I didn't submit the tracking.
You can definitely still submit it. So even if you didn't get them all done, just submit it that no, you didn't get them all done. The
Okay.
idea is that you're just going to get better every day. So we want to do
Okay.
these straight for 75 days.
Mm-hmm.
75 hard concept is if you don't do it one day, you're kind of starting over. So you would just do it for another 75 days. But don't beat yourself up for not getting it all done. Just do as much as you can, and it's going to make an impact in your business.
Yeah, I try to call 10 leads, but most of people, they don't answer the phone call. So I couldn't finish that part.
Yeah, and you can do, like, it really is conversations or contacts. So if people aren't answering the phone, you could maybe start texting people, or you could direct message people. You go out and talk to people at events or, you know, social things. You just want to be having as many conversations as you can have.
Okay.
So, yeah, and that's really what you're seeing on the screen here too. You know, in Ignite, we talk about like the 10-4. These are just, again, the things that you can do them every single day. Focus on the number of conversations you're having. Work on adding 10 contacts to your database. Sending out handwritten notes is always a really good way just to get energy towards your business and put things in people's mailboxes that they want to open. And then the 10-5-1 social media engagement. So on your 75 hard, I think it says 5 by 5 by 5. which
Yeah.
is, you know, posting on 5, engaging with 5, direct messaging 5. So the idea here is that you're just taking action in your business every day. So yes,
Mhm.
Jake, I saw your chat. You do want to be submitting that. So your office should have sent out a tracker. Let me see if I have your tracker. I will look for that, Jake, but yes, you should have gotten a tracker that you are submitting your results every single day. Just showing the office that you are doing it. So you can even talk to your front desk too. Okay, so this is an affirmation to end with. We'll end the night. Yes, Karen, it is digital, the tracker. So we'll end. This is an affirmation as you get out there and lead generate. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in a relationship with me. So we always want to end good, positive mindset before you lead generate, after you lead generate, before you go on appointments, after the appointment. Constantly be working on your mindset too. So I love this affirmation. But that's all I have for tonight. So hopefully you guys got some good action items. Let me know how I can help you. If you need any help tomorrow, I know Colin, you might need help on an offer. We're here. Reach out. Let us know what you need. Have a good night, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.